Did you know that when you die, there's an instant tax totaling 1.4% of the value of your estate that immediately applies? I'm not joking. So if you live in British Columbia and you are trying to leave a house and maybe some stocks or other assets to your children, the government will immediately take 1.4% of the estate. $2 million estate, that's nearly $30,000. My name is Steve Parr, and I am a business lawyer and an estate planning lawyer in Vancouver, Canada. What you are going to learn here can potentially save you tens of thousands of dollars in your estate planning. I'll be answering all of your critical questions regarding probate and executorship and go over some of the common problems and issues that you and your family might face. Today I'm diving into probate. Probate is the legal process of validating a will and distributing assets according to the deceased person's wishes. There are many benefits to probate. Probate is the process of proving a will before the court. Court supervision helps eliminate fraudulent claims. Probate ensures that the will is valid and genuine and is distributed appropriately, which offers protection for vulnerable beneficiaries such as minors or individuals with a disability. And if the deceased person owed any debts or had creditors of any sort, they also have a limited window to make claims against the estate, which in turn offers some protection for the beneficiaries and the executor, him or herself. Now, if you are in a situation where you are an executor or someone you know has passed away and you need to apply for probate in British Columbia, you must follow a few steps. 1. Determine if probate is necessary at all. On estates less than $25,000, probate may be able to be bypassed by presenting a death certificate and an indemnity to the bank. Each bank is going to be different. Probate is also generally not required if the assets were held jointly with a right of survivorship. These assets could be bank accounts or real estate, and they would pass directly to the surviving joint owner. Additionally, if assets were held in a trust, they would be distributed accordingly and would not need to probate. 2. You need to gather relevant documents like the original will, a death certificate, a list of the deceased person's assets and debts, and you would need proof that a search for the will has been completed. 3. You'll prepare the probate application, which requires completion of various core documents, including information about the deceased, their assets and liabilities, and information on the proposed executor. 4th, that application is going to be filed to the Supreme Court of British Columbia, and you'll pay a $200 application fee. Upon approval, the executor can now distribute the estate in accordance with the will and pay any outstanding debts. An important note here is that this process is complex and very time-consuming. Applications are generally processed within 2 to 3 months in British Columbia, but it can be as long as 6 months. It's strongly recommended here that you seek legal advice. Improperly submitted applications are going to be rejected, which will further delay the time. We can help you with all of this here at Parr Business Law. Now, there are many nuances to probate, and it's going to take a lot to truly understand probate. But in the next few minutes, I'm going to be answering some of the most frequently asked questions regarding probate. 1. How much are probate fees? It varies from province to province, but in British Columbia, there are no probate fees on the first $25,000 of assets. On estates worth between $25,000 and $50,000, the fee is 0.6% of the value of the estate. And on amounts over $50,000, the fee is 1.4%. So if your estate is worth $2 million, you'll be paying around $28,000 in probate fees. So what assets are not subject to probate? Assets that are held in joint tenancy with a right of survivorship, assets held in a trust, and small estates are typically not subject to probate. Additionally, life insurance policies and registered retirement savings plans or registered retirement investment funds, RIFs, will pass directly to the beneficiary and are not subject to probate. How long does probate take? This depends on the complexity of the estate, the assets involved, and any disputes or challenges. In British Columbia, the process typically takes between 6 to 12 months, although in some instances, this can take upwards of several years, particularly where litigation is involved. So how can you avoid probate? Avoiding probate can save you tens of thousands of dollars, as I mentioned, and with careful estate planning, you will be able to avoid some probate fees. I've already discussed which assets avoid probate, but to recap, holding property or bank accounts jointly with somebody else, which is typically your spouse, will avoid probate if there is a right of survivorship. Adding a beneficiary to your RSP or RIF allows the values of that account to not be included in probate. Additionally, a living trust allows you to transfer ownership of your assets into the trust during your lifetime. Since you technically no longer own those assets, they do not form part of your estate. But when you die, those assets will pass to your designated beneficiaries. So can you apply for probate without a lawyer? Yes, in British Columbia you can. However, this process can be quite complex, and you will need a good understanding of legal procedures, documents, deadlines, and familiarization with the rules and requirements for probate. So it's strongly recommended that you get legal help. This is one of our areas of focus here at Parr Business Law, so if you'd like some help on this topic, be sure to leave us a comment. Now, that was an overview of what probate is and applying for it, and as well as some of the most common questions that I get asked as an estate planning lawyer. I will be continuing the series in the next few videos. Specifically, we're going to be talking about executorship in the next video. And so if you want to learn more about that, or just generally interested in more free content on estate planning and business planning, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.